Hi, what's your name?
I'm Molly.
Molly, where are we and what's the tennis program in what town and all that?
In Grants Pass, Oregon. And right now we've got the youth tennis camps going on for the summer.
Okay, and you have a couple of pros that have some experience, a lot of vast experience in tennis.
Yeah, we do. Our lead instructor is Ruth Berkey.
What's your name again?
Ruth.
Ruth, okay. So Ruth, who are you? Just start with the general question.
Let's see, who am I? I'm Ruth Berkey. I'm a former, I worked for the NCAA, and when they developed their Women's Championships program, I was the director of Women's Championships.
Okay.
And as far as working with Title IX, yes, I was involved in Title IX because of the fact that we were trying to get more things, opportunities for women. And so when the NCAA decided to have women's championships, obviously that was a big bonus for women, so that they had an opportunity to have college-level championships for women.
You mean prior to that they did not? Is that what
There was an organization called AIAW that had started, and so they had some championships, but the AIAW didn't have financial backing, and so the schools or the institutions had to finance the teams to go to the championships.
For the women's side?
For the women's side, whereas the men's side, the NCAA supported them with their financial resources. And so when the NCAA decided to have women's championships, then the women were also financed with the NCAA resources.
What year was that?
I think it was 1960.
Oh, okay. Because I've coached, and I thought it was like only in the last 15 years, but that rule has been around for much longer.
Oh, right.
Is that right? I'm just asking.
Well, it's about 1960. I'd have to do some research. Maybe I started coaching in 1960, so it was probably 64, 65, somewhere in there. You need to look that up. I'm not sure exactly.
Sure. Where did you start? Where were you coaching? You say you started coaching.
I
You've been
was
coaching the whole life. Is that?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Where did you start coaching?
At Occidental College.
Is that California?
That's in Los Angeles.
Are you from there originally, or?
Well, yes, I grew up there.
Grew up in California.
In California.
Oh,
yes.
okay. And grew up playing tennis and doing all that, or?
Yes, and doing different sports. I coached volleyball and basketball and tennis at the Occidental. Is a small college, so we just had one woman who was involved in sports, and so I was that person.
And when you did the Title IX, was there? Were you doing it with others?
Yes.
Who did you work with?
There was an organization in Southern California called the women's competitive organization, and all those women were interested in having sports for women.
Right.
And so that was we started a league in Southern California, and then we played other Southern California schools from San Diego all the way to Santa Barbara. And then once we got that going, then that's when the organization called the Association for Intercollegiate Athletics for Women started doing some things nationally.
Right.
And then the NCAA, because the NCAA had different rules than AIAW, the colleges were having trouble knowing how the women should compete and how the men should compete under different rules. So NCAA decided to have women's championships as well. What's my journey? Oh, I guess I love sports. That's number one.
Right.
I've been involved in sports most of my life. I have two sons, and both of whom played sports. Now they're very active in soccer. And I moved from Southern California to Grants Pass because my older son moved here with his 5 children, so I wanted to be closer to them. Oh, I think we both like to quilt, so we're both quilters.
What do you think of women's tennis? How far has it come, and what's it still need or not need today?
It's come a huge, it's come a long way, and it's really wonderful in terms of providing opportunity for women.
Djokovic or some of those other guys recently said some negative things about women's tennis. Did you hear them say that?
No, I haven't heard that. There's a difference between women's and men's tennis. Men have more strength, and so they play a harder game.
Right.
They're hitting the ball harder. Women play a game where they're keeping the ball in play longer.
Right.
And so that's really the difference between the two games. And so as a spectator, would you like to watch more tennis? Then you're probably going to watch women's tennis. And so that's probably why there's fewer people watching men's tennis than women's tennis is because they get more tennis by watching the women's game.
So would you like to say something to Djokovic if he ever sees this?
I just think it depends on the person. You know, some people want to see that strength and they want to see that wonderful serve that goes 107 or 8 miles an hour.
Right.
And other people want to see more action. And so I don't think it's one better than the other. I think it just depends on the
There's something in it for everybody,
spectator.
whatever.
Exactly.
I got it.
Right.
Great. Thank you. What's your favorite food?
Steak.
Good enough.